Cheryl, you're gonna have to pull that mic right to you.
Okay.
Yeah, is it on?
Yes. Red light.
I'm not sounding on it.
Okay.
Hello?
That's much better.
Thank you. Okay. We are here this evening to present the adopted housing element and fair share plan to the Edison governing body. As you are probably aware, the planning board adopted the housing element and fair share plan as an amendment to the master plan on December 15th. Before I go into an overview of the housing element and fair share plan, I'd just like to point out some of the differences between the last housing element that you adopted and the present one. COA gave municipalities targeted numbers now for their third round growth share obligation. Previously, Edison and all municipalities were permitted to project their growth based on anticipated certificates of occupancy. That no longer is the method according to COA. COA has given towns the targeted numbers. In addition, COA has changed the ratios. For every 5 market rate units in a municipality, there must be 1 affordable unit, and for every 16 new jobs, there must be 1 affordable unit. Municipalities have to file their adopted housing elements and fair share plans with COA and petition by December 31st of this year. The downside is, if this housing element and fair share plan is not on COA's doorstep by December 31st, Edison is vulnerable to an exclusionary zoning lawsuit. And in addition, you may not be able to retain the development fees that you have. We don't know how COA is going to handle that. And that's basically main differences between the last plan and this plan. Your plan components, you have a housing element, a fair share plan, a petition application, workbook A, checklist, a spending plan, a draft development fee ordinance, a draft affordable housing ordinance, a resolution of intent to bond if there's a shortfall of funds, and a sample list of apartment complexes in Edison Township. There were many trees killed putting together this plan. The housing element is basically in 3 parts. There is a rehabilitation obligation that COA has assigned. COA has said there are 173 deficient housing units in Edison Township that are currently occupied by low and moderate income households. To date, from April 1st, 2000 to the present, Edison has completed 54 of the 173 rehabilitation obligation, and Edison has until 2018 to complete that obligation. And you will utilize your community development block grant monies for any rehabilitation. Your prior round obligation is 965, which basically is addressed through your judgment of compliance from the court. There were 3 units short, and 3 units from the A.M. Ulenxa Senior Citizen Housing were included in the prior round plan so that you were totally made whole for the prior round plan. Now comes the growth share obligation. COA gave Edison a targeted number of 1,105 affordable housing units to the year 2018. That number was reduced to 1,018 rather than the 1,105. And the reason why it was reduced, it's what's known as exclusions. If you have prior round or second round inclusionary development, meaning both market and affordable units, that will not receive certificates of occupancy until after January 4th, 2004, you may exclude 4 times the number of affordable units in your plan, thereby reducing COA's residential projections. And that's the reason why Edison's number, the targeted growth share number, was reduced. It's because of the residential exclusions from the Rivendell development in addition to the Lennar development, Center Place at Edison. The plan for the 1,018 affordable housing units is as follows. Edison has 164 surplus age-restricted units that could not be credited for the prior round because there's a cap on the number of age-restricted units. So you have 164. You also have been planning for years for 120 units at Camp Kilmer Permanent Supportive Housing, of which, of the 120, 30 will be permanent supportive housing, all affordable, Phase 1, and 90 will be rental units open to the general public, which would be a total of 120. And then to maximize the existing market rate rental stock in Edison, and to minimize the amount of new construction, which I believe was the direction that was given in preparing this plan, Edison is proposing a 427-unit, what's known as a market to affordable program. It's the old buy-down program. What Edison did was calculate some existing market rate apartment units in Edison. In fact, 6,942 units were compiled to see what the rents were. And the census reports that all told, Edison has over 12,674 market rate apartment units in Edison. So we can show COA that there is a sufficient rental housing stock for Edison to present or propose a market to affordable program. And COA requires a minimum subsidy of $25,000 for a moderate income write-down and $30,000 for a low income. COA's rules also state that you may only do up to 10% of your prior round number and your growth share number with the market to affordable program. But Edison is going in with a waiver request to COA based on the existing rental housing stock that is in Edison, showing that there are rents that are not as too high, that they can't be subsidized down to an affordable level. And Edison will retain an experienced consultant or consultants to negotiate with the apartment owners. Now, if you're wondering how all of this works, there will be whoever it will administer the program will compile a list of all of the apartment complexes in Edison Township, together with the rents and the number of bedrooms, 1 or 2 bedrooms, if they have what utilities are included and what aren't included. And then the consultant will negotiate with the owners of the apartment complexes that, quite frankly, have the lowest rents above the moderate income level to minimize the amount of subsidy that Edison would have to provide. And then with the negotiation with the owner of an apartment complex, the difference between the market rent and the controlled affordable rent will be programmed over a 30-year period, because that would be the length of the deed restriction, and then discounted to present value. And that's all done by a computer program by someone that has expertise in this. And that's the 427 market to affordable rentals. COA also has rules, but rules on you have you must provide at least 25% rental units, but in addition, you may have rental bonus credits if you exceed that rental obligation. And the maximum number of rental bonuses that Edison could realize would be 254 bonuses. And because of the market to affordable program being all family rentals, Edison can go in with 254 rental bonuses, which is the maximum. We really tried to maximize the number of bonuses that were available. And also there are 45 new group home bedrooms that are being proposed. CCC has already provided 8 new group home bedrooms, and all told, if you add up all the numbers, it comes out to 1,018 to address the growth share obligation. Your spending plan is the next item. The spending plan, you have collected to date $3.9 million in development fees, and you are projecting an additional $4.9 million for total revenues of $8.8 million. Now, we all know what's happening with the economy, and when we started this, we weren't in the poor shape that we're all in now. These are only projections, and they will change based on the amount of monies that come in and the amount that comes out. So it's more of a fluid document, as is your growth share obligation, because the growth share obligation will be monitored every 2 years after Edison is certified to see if you're phasing in your affordable units proportionally to your market rate units. But Edison is fortunate in that you are going in with surplus units to begin with, and you have others that are also in the plan that are in place. In your spending plan, you are setting aside $975,000 for group homes, $11.7 million for your market to affordable, that's the buy-down program. COA requires that 30% of all of the monies in your development fee fund, according to a formula, must be available for affordability assistance, and that would be $2.6 million. Affordability assistance would be having a closing cost down payment assistance program, a rental assistance program, and converting low-income units to very low-income units. The group home bedrooms, and the credit is by the bedroom, qualify as very low-income units. So that will help Edison meet that new requirement as per what's known as the Roberts Bill, A500, where 13% of all the affordable units in a municipality must be affordable to households at 30% of median income. And then Edison may spend up to 20% of its development fees on administration, and that's allocated at $1.7 million to the year 2018. And as you will see from the plan, there is a shortfall of $8.4 million